With Champions League qualifiers still taking place, there was 3 really good games today that pretty much, set the foundation for what is going to be an amazing final round of the Champions League qualifier period. This playoff period, 6 teams will go into joining the other 26 who have automatically qualified. And we had 3 really good games today, but the one I want to focus on today is the LASK LINZ versus Club Brugge contest. Club Brugge somehow finding a way away from home to go out and get a victory. Hans Vanaken scoring the 10th minute penalty off of what was a pretty good penalty call, I feel like. And that kind of It didn't necessarily set the tone for the contest, but it solidified Club Brugge in this contest as them getting their goal. They had a plethora of opportunities in this contest that they just weren't able to, put away. They weren't able to really tuck away anything, solid through the majority of this contest. 12 shots, 4 of those on target, compared to LASK Linz's only 1 shot on target out of 15 shots in total. They also had a penalty shout, which was kind of waved off. It happened in both that game and in the QUALIFIERS Cluj-Slavia Prague game, where there was what looked like a clear-cut penalty call that was just simply brought back, and it was just simply restarted once again. But with that being said, I really do feel like this Club Brugge squad, after making it through from the last round, the 3rd round of the qualifying period, I felt like they definitely belonged. They sold a good amount of, not assets necessarily, but they sold a good amount of players this summer to sort of help fund the club. Well, I guess it's not necessarily funding the club, but to essentially help in whatever funding necessary for their replacements as well. And Club Brugge, I feel like, have done a very good job, whether it's from management or whether it's from the front office, that they have essentially replaced the pieces that they've lost. Wesley being the biggest one. I feel like they sold him for 28 million over to Brighton in the Premier League, in English Premier League. And so it was very sort of difficult for them to try and find a replacement, but with the formation that they're playing in that 4-3-3, they're able to, pretty much shift anyone about in that team, and it's actually worked out, I feel like, for the better for them. I mean, don't, say it out loud, but I feel like them without Wesley, they didn't necessarily need his goal involvement, but I feel like they've definitely done a good job of A, finding a replacement for him, and B, still working around in the system to continue to flourish. And they really look like the better side in this contest. Nothing against LASK Linz. They've obviously made it to this far. Well, I said made it to this far, but making it to this point is still a huge achievement because they're guaranteed European competition no matter what, whether it's in the Europa League, whether it's in the Champions League group stage. So it's going to be very tough to see, how they can improve in the second match. Obviously, there's nothing out of the question because 1 goal is not safe at all in the Champions League. If you watched any of the Champions League qualifiers from the last round, there were several goals and several amazing away game second leg ties, which pretty much just turned the entire round on its head. I mean, it led to the eliminations of Celtic, eliminations of Porto, nearly led to the elimination of Ajax, who drew 0-0 today with Apoel. So nothing is out of the question. LASK Linz still have a very good chance if they're able to produce something away in the away leg next Wednesday in Bruges. Then they'll find their way into the Champions League group stage. But right now, I think I'm pushing for this Club Brugge team to make it back into the knockout rounds of the into the group stage of the Champions League. They made an appearance there last year. They didn't quite make it out of the groups, which is, I mean, it's all good and fine because, they were still a very good squad. And they had a really tough group as well. So, you can't really blame them necessarily for being unable to advance out of that group. But nonetheless, I feel like they're in a very good position, especially with the way that they had this game. They played realistically without the ball for the majority of the contest. I mean, they had 44% total possession compared to 56% for LASK Linz, which is why they had the more shot opportunities. But understat.com, if you guys have never seen Understat, the website, it's amazing. They go game by game. They judge every single shot opportunity, every single, expected goal, expected assist, key pass, pretty much everything involved with the deep analytics of football. They had this game scored at 1.3 to 0.7 in favor of Club Brugge. So, the better opportunities, the better chances, a couple more expected goals, 1 1/3 goals are what would end up rounding to just the 1 goal, which they got from the penalty spot from Vanaken. It kind of goes to show that Club Brugge were the better side in this contest, and now they have to prove that one more time as they had home leaders in this, rather, I say leaders, I mean they lead in this Champions League playoff final contest over LASK Linz 1-0, heading home, try and, close it off at home, maybe get a solid victory. That way they can get ready for the beginning of the Champions League group stage and the Champions League draw itself. But you guys gotta let me know your thoughts on the match down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.